UNICEF defines child abandonment as leaving a child with no food and the child does not know where his or her next meal are coming from. This is usually caused by poverty, a parent's refusal to give up their parental rights so the other parent has no choice, or a parent's fear of failure. This is an increasing issue throughout the United States, not throughout the United States alone, but worldwide, and I intend to share with you the limited statistics, what becomes an abandoned child, and what the safe haven law is. Every 2 seconds throughout the world, there is a child being abandoned or orphaned. In 2003, Nevada Kids Count did a survey and found that 13,325 children were abandoned, neglected, or abused. These statistics are few and far between because it's so hard to track the number of children living on the streets without parents. And so the way we tried to figure it out is counting the number of children in an orphanage and using a 1-to-2 ratio, 1 being the kids in the orphanages and 2 being the minimum number of children that are on the streets at a time. When a child is abandoned, it's not only a physical thing, but you can also emotionally abandon a child. When a parent becomes a workaholic, they don't invest time in their child, what their future is going to be like, and these children often are very similar to that of a child who is physically left alone. They tend to go to stealing, buying and selling of illegal materials like drugs, or even joining gangs. They could be involved in abusive relationships, or even in worst cases could be forced into a sex slave trade. But not every child is the same, just like not every case would be the same. Some of these children grow up in spite of the way that they were left or raised and become great figures, and you would never know what happened to them in their childhood. The last thing I want to share with y'all is the safe haven rule, also known as the baby Moses rule or law. And it states that a child or a parent or an ambassador of the parent can take a child to a police station, a fire station, a rescue squad, or a hospital and leave them in the care of those people with immune to prosecution, and the child would be safely taken care of. This varies from state to state, but Texas was the first to enact this law in 1999, and by 2008 every state had their own version of this, and each state has their own age limit, but the maximum throughout the country would be 1 year old. But other states have ones such as 3 days, 30 days, even 2 months. That's as high as they'll allow a child to be left at these safe locations. In review, I've gone over the limited statistics, what could become an abandoned child, and the safe haven law. Remember that when you abandon a child, you're not only hurting them physically or putting them in harm's way, but you're also emotionally damaging them. And I'd just like to leave y'all with a little food for thought. If you abandon a child in their young age, what will they do for you in your old age? Thank you.